Hey, Graham.
Sup? Hey, Evan.
Sup? Hey, Connell.
There's only one thing left to do. Begin. Boom, 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 boom.
Best
Nope. Anybody?
intro
Nope.
ever.
Ball so hard.
That's correct. Okay. Intro's out of the way. Welcome to a version, not telling you what version because it's embarrassing, of the GCcast number 5? I'm going to say 5.
That is correct.
I'm going to go with 5 here. Where I am Graham. That is Connell. And with us today is the Evan. Say hello, Evan.
Hello.
Fun fact: like every other guest on this show, his name also starts with a silent E.
True fact. But in this case, it's followed up immediately with a really.
Yep.
Some people, I don't know.
Some people try to pronounce it Evan.
When?
Doesn't work.
Yeah, sounds kind of crazy and Frenchish. And we don't like the French people. No,
You don't?
JK, love the French people. Mostly. For the
Wow, a
wine.
little bit of casual racism there.
I,
Wow.
I was trying to be a little bit more subtle, but since you've brought it up,
Don't worry, they hate us right back.
especially in Quebec.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Enough with the racism. Connell, how have you been?
I've got a bit of a cold today, but other than that,
Welcome to Canada.
yep.
Evan, how you been?
Feeling a little bit drained.
Welcome to a laborer's life in Canada.
Actually,
Thank you,
it's because I went and donated blood tonight.
I thought it was because of Marina. I guess it could come to the same thing, really. Anyways, donating
Right, we
blood
won't
in
go
Marina.
there.
Yeah, we're not. We're not going to go there. Good thing she doesn't watch. Anyways,
Could be our 5th subscriber.
yeah, really. Ooh. Not very. I don't know how many of you guys who watch this know this. Every year we hold a LAN. It's basically all the friends and whoever wants to come. Really, we all get together. And we're like, we're gonna rent a hall, mofo, and then we rent a hall and we play video games basically all night, or card games as the case may be. This year we focused mainly on card games, but that wasn't the funnest thing at the LAN this year, was it, gentlemen?
Well, you could call it the funnest thing. I don't think you could call it the funniest thing.
Fair enough.
I would definitely agree. What took precedence over everything was Connell giving me a book. Now, I'm not going to tell you what the book is called,
I gave many people books,
but
but his was special.
But this book I chose, or was given, forced upon me, thrust into me, was a special book. Because totally,
Bound to please them for many hours.
yes. Because here's the way that Connell hands out books at events. What's your favorite genre? Sci-fi. What is your quest? To get the book? What is your favorite color? That bluish green of your eyes. I
Now I'm
chose...
insulted because my eyes aren't bluish green.
I wasn't specifying you there, Connell. I guess I suppose I... Anyways. But just kind of trolling. A lot of trolling involved here. I was like, my favorite category is erotica. He may have...
Circumstance.
Yes. He may have bought an erotica novel. And I may have gotten it. And you may be asking yourself, well, Graham, how does this relate to gaming and this podcast? And this channel in particular? Well...
But it does relate to the other two.
Yes. Well, dear viewer, if we can get 100 views on any video and 50 subscribers within a month, so what was that? This video is going up on the 7th.
This video will be going up on the 9th of January. You will have until the 6th of February, which is, 28 days, in order to reach that total.
And if you reach that total, On the next podcast, being on the 9th? No,
The 13th of
13th
February.
of February, we will each read a chapter from that book without breaking up,
No matter how many takes it takes us.
or how many mute buttons we have to use. We will do it. And the guest we have on that show will probably have forgotten about it by that time. And it will be funny. But I think we're pretty safe because we set our goals really high here. For good reason. Because, Connell, let's demonstrate our sexy voices. Connell, you may go first.
Oh, yeah.
Follow with mine. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, good reason why this would be hilarious. Still, we're safe, though. There's no way. You guys aren't willing enough to do it. And I can just hear Evan going, Facebook, everybody go subscribe.
Oh, you know me too well.
And then we're going to get Shepins with a playbook going, must watch more. I'm just waiting for that Skype message from Shepin saying, have you had a healthy bowel movement today? To which I will say, yes, I did. Anyone else here have a healthy bowel movement today? Tell me in the comments, by the way.
Yes, I did.
Can neither confirm nor deny these allegations.
Yes. But yeah, that'll be a thing. Moving on to, well, newsy type stuff. We're going to switch up the format because our topic's kind of interesting. I think it's interesting. And these guys would tend to agree with me, so we're switching up the format a little bit.
I have a lot of thoughts.
But what's happening in news recently? Metacritic has said that there weren't very many 90 reviews given out this year. But for some reason, and everyone somehow correlated that with there not being any good games this year. Well, that's absolutely untrue. You had FTL, Dishonored. Long pause while I think of other games. Sure, we'll throw Call of Duty into there. What else did we have? We had a lot, okay? We had a lot of good games this year. But for some reason, Metacritic just didn't have 90s. They weren't getting 90s. So, as soon as everyone goes, oh, this was the worst year for gaming. Well, it wasn't. Metacritic just being a jackass and being like, this review is worth tons, and this review isn't worth anything. And of course, the review that is worth tons is the 7.5, and the review that's worth nothing is the 90 to 100. Right? And then they take those reviews into a secret process and average them, and don't tell you how they've done that. Yeah. It's kind of, it's kind of a dick move.
Yeah.
Now, 2013, on the other hand, has some really good games coming out in it, and you should go watch that video. Just saying, last podcast, Medieval Mirror, #1, right, guys?
Oh,
Yep.
Absolutely.
I actually went and looked at the video game developer's website for that game. It is Age of Empires 2.
Really?
Yes. If you go to that website, you will find that it is indeed Age of Empires 2. That looks like a butt-fucked Fable, graphical-wise. Like, graphically, it looks like it's butt-fucked Fable and had a kid. That's the kind of graphics.
Hey, watch the language.
What, are there 4-year-olds watching? No. Also, I've already put the adult filter on. Anyways, yeah. And StarCraft 2 news, or the StarCraft 2 corner, or whatever the fuck we're calling it this week. Connell.
So the Pro League, StarCraft 2 Pro League, is still going. As of this very moment, EGTL has slipped to 6th place, but they're still very much within playoff contention, as there's 6 rounds before the playoffs. Later this evening, and by this evening I mean the evening in which this is being recorded, they'll be playing SKT1. By the time this comes out, you guys will know that. but this will keep continuing. Every week, you've got between 4 and 8 games. And then in other news, not really StarCraft related, Speed Demos Archive is doing another awesome games done quick. They get a bunch of well-known speedrunners of various games, and they do a marathon. I believe they're doing it for something like 100 hours this year to raise money for the Prevent Foundation. It's an awesome stream. It's an awesome cause. You should go check it out. It will still be running when this video goes live.
Are they donating the commercials, the ad revenue as well?
They are not running any ads.
No, but you still have to watch
It
an
is
ad when you.
100%.
You still have to watch
It
the
is
ad when you
100%
log ad,
action
don't you?
all the time.
Oh.
You do not.
Anyways, if you don't go support them, well, kind of makes you a bit of an asshole. Truth be told, if you didn't want harsh reality, shouldn't have come here. This is the wrong place for you.
That's what she said.
Yeah, it was. Especially last night, all night. Anyways, life sucks because winter sucks because Canada sucks in the winter. Anyone who lives not in Canada in a non-winter climate and is overweight, move to winter climate. It'll fix the problem. That shoveling. Also, if anyone who buys a snowblower, fuck you.
Lame.
Lame-o. I'm just saying, Americans want to lose that weight, move to Canada, start a snow removal business. Good plan. Lose that weight, shed them pounds, shake them moobs. Moving on. Evan.
So, we're
What?
I
Mute
am
your Skype.
taking over this cast to move us on to our
No.
main topic because we're branching out. We're moving beyond just video games today, and we're talking.
I don't know if you guys knew
we're-
this, but we're nerds.
We're moving into the realm of pen and paper RPGs.
Specifically, our
Today's topic will be
thoughts on pen and paper RPG character backgrounds or background stories, depending on how you play the game and all that fun stuff.
precisely.
Yeah.
This isn't specific to any one game. It applies to some more than others, but you can use it for your D&D, your GURPS, your Rifts, Palladium, Call of Cthulhu, whatever you like.
More
For
rare
the purpose
ones.
of this podcast, most people are familiar with D&D, so we'll stick to that.
Except not D&D 4, because that game's an asshole. I'm just saying, guys. That game needs to be burnt. And stop production.
Have you burned your copies of it?
Shut up. They're expensive, damn it.
I'm not calling you a hypocrite. I'm just saying.
Hungry, hungry hypocrite. True dat.
All right, tournament burn. All right, so the number one question, or the number one thing that new players usually don't realize is that they need to think about how they're going to roleplay. Now, it's possible to play D&D and the rest of these games. Not all the rest of the games. Some of them actually require you to role play. But a lot of them have the mechanical background for you to play them straight with no role playing whatsoever. You're just killing monsters or whatever. And that's cool. That's fine. If your game's like that, then you can more or less ignore everything else we're going to say. But I know, Graham, you're of the opinion that role playing is a very important part of the game.
Oh, absolutely.
It is an RPG.
Absolutely. Now, I might be a little bit of a lore whore, which makes me kind of okay at backstories. But when I sit down to write them, sometimes I go way too in depth, right? But don't do that. I'm just saying don't do it.
Yes. So when you're designing your background, it shouldn't really be that deep. Your character is going to grow, it's going to develop during gameplay. At the beginning, you're not going to have a good idea of who you're really going to want him to be, unless he's Legolas. Good on you if he is, but you can only run Legolas so many times.
It's 99.
But your background sort of
You
your
can't do more
prologue.
than 99. I'm just saying. After 99th Legolas, just stop playing Legolas because you suck at the game.
And just give me some love.
Hey, 99. Anyone who burns 99 characters sucks at the game and should start playing OP characters.
I got 99 characters, but Legolas ain't one.
Oh god, what have we done?
He's brought random song references into the podcast.
That no one's gonna get. 10 out of 10.
Yo, Jay-Z's mainstream. Dog.
Because I listen to all the rap music. Hungry, hungry
You don't.
hypocrites.
Right. So then, why do you want to create a backstory? All right. Well,
There's a number of
a lot of the
reasons.
a lot of the entertainment that comes from these games comes from the interaction, the role playing, the interesting situations when you are forced to role play yourself into the corner and shenanigans happen. The epic survivals, the epic attacks,
Bears.
the epic failures. A lot of the setup for that comes from the background. Like we said earlier, your character is going to sort of grow into who he really is. But the background sort of provides you your blueprint for where you want to go with this. So it's going to make things better for the other players because they get a sense of, okay, this is who this guy is. It gives you an advantage because you're not 100% making stuff up as you go along. And it helps the DM because you're giving him ideas of what you want to do with the character so he can sort of work with that.
From actually DMing a few games myself, I've noticed a lot of people, especially first-time players. I'm looking at you, Facey D&D Club, who's obviously watching this video. I know a lot of first-time players, the backgrounds that they use are very short and very, very, very vague. Now, it's great if you want to create a background story for your character, but if your background story was, he did some things, and then he came to a tavern, and now he's here, that's pretty terrible. I'm just saying. Give your DM something to work with. Like this,
All right.
not only is this a DM tool,
Right, so
this is to immerse you as well, right?
So, Evan, you're creating
Yeah.
yourself a background. What sort of elements do you consider in the creation of your background, your story, if you're going that far?
The first part is where he is from originally, and why you would leave that if the adventure is starting somewhere else. How he's gotten the skills he has right now, if he's going to be a fighter or a ranger or some kind of magic user. How did he get those skills? And one or two people he knows. And I think that's generally pretty good.
Right. So basically, all that stuff, your background, your history, that gives the DM all sorts of excellent hooks to work with, and that also gives you a sense of what or how your character will react to other similar characters. If your character's got a background as a ranger working with other rangers, then he's going to be more used to team military settings than the half-crazed loner barbarian or whoever it is you're playing.
But
How about you, Graham? What do you consider in these? Or go ahead.
oh, well, I was just gonna tack on one thing. Like Evan will agree with this. You don't need to go into massive detail. Like the DM doesn't need to know what your character's mother's name was. That's really not important, right? Like, sure, background and all that garbage is fine. Well, I shouldn't say garbage. Background and all the good stuff is fine, right? But I mean, if you start going into really specific details, like there was an oak tree in his backyard and it had a dog buried underneath of it, and that dog's name was Scruffles, is going a little bit far, if you know what I mean, right? But as for what I consider when I'm building my characters, it's a lot more visuals for me when I'm building background. It involves a lot more visual, if you know what I mean. Like most games like D&D have a character description. That's fine and all, but you don't really get the fine details of what your character is and who he is within that, right? Because you're really limited. It's a very small box if you're using the actual sheets. So I tend to focus a lot more on how he got his scars, how his fighting style works, etc. Background I kind of just glaze over because I have difficulty imagining it. It's kind of the way I am. So yeah.
All right. I'm primarily the DM for my group. I've been going at it for a couple of years now, and I've found that these are sort of the elements of the strongest backgrounds. The first is that the character has some sort of goal. That goal could be something like redemption of a family name. That could be just acquiring treasure. Basically, the overall theme to why your character is where he is.
Yep.
Yeah.
A couple of things. They could be looking to be knighted or gain land titles.
Alternatively, they could be looking to be just a total
Yep.
asshole and just fuck shit up, or fuck bitches make money is another way you could run it. That character won't last very long, pro tip.
Thought you didn't live in the rap.
Oh.
To continue on sort of with Evan's point, you can talk to your DM about what sort of titles and stuff there are out there. What's the system for that? The second important thing is that consider why your character is unique. Why is your Legolas and not Graham's Legolas? For example, is you're running a hero. What's making your hero a hero? Say you've got some sort of crusading paladin. Is your paladin thing that he's always attempting to rescue the damsel in distress, regardless of extenuating circumstances? That even if it's a trap, he feels compelled to save it on the chance that it's not a trap. Maybe your character can't abide slavery or something like that. And when the epic fight scene comes down and the villain's got all the traps laid down and there's some slavery going on, your character just has to charge in. That can be a story right there. Maybe you're running the religious element a bit more and he's attempting to recruit other people to religion. Something there that is making your character Bob the Lionhearted and not Bob the Fighter.
Yeah, but Connell, to be fair, what I've noticed is you'll find a lot of aggravation from a lot of the other players if you're running the religious option.
You have to walk a line. There is a point at which you need to recognize when it might be a little bit out of character for your character to back down, but you need to do it for the story to progress, for the other characters to have their time to shine.
Yeah.
So you got to be careful. You got to have your character be your character and let it dominate the party. But that's more of something you need to be concerned while role-playing and less so during the creation of the backstory. And the final thing that seems to confuse players is that D&D in specific has this alignment system. And
why?
players...
This was just
I've noticed
wasn't a
lot
good
of players
thing.
like to take a character concept and then try to cram it into an alignment. They know what their character wants to be, and they've arbitrarily decided that he's going to be chaotic neutral because their DM won't let them run an evil character, but their character is evil anyway, and they just try to cram it into chaotic neutral.
Yeah, and this relates a lot more to
You
your
gotta
DM
consider,
than the
yeah,
players themselves. DMs, let your characters run evil. Just let them do it, because that character isn't going to last long if he's running true evil, because he's going to try and kill the other players, yes, but in doing such, he endangers himself, and that player is eventually going to get killed. No chaotic evil player or character lasts very long. So just let them do it, and it'll save a lot of time at the start of the game, and a lot of piss-offs.
I'm not sure I 100% agree with that, but that's sort of something for a different discussion. But take your character concept and then look at what alignment it fits into. Don't take an alignment and then cram your character concept into it. And if you've got that, you've got your outline. At that point, maybe you want to flesh it out a bit more. Try discuss with your DM. That's probably the most important thing. Make sure you've got a good conversation going with your DM about the position of the role play. Because if your DM understands what you're trying to do, he can help you. And if he's a good DM, he will help you. Yeah, so that's sort of my rant on backgrounds. Any other topics we should be bringing up at this point?
Sort of a subtopic, if you will, to backgrounds is in certain games you'll find the actual background story is very, very, very important to your character creation and building. And on the pages, you're actually provided basically the entire backside of the sheet to do it. Do you need to use all that space, right? Like, is it important that you use an entire sheet? Is there a certain amount that's good, where it's good, a certain amount where it's too little, and a certain amount where it's too much?
I think that as a group, you're playing should try and be consistent. You can go too little. I mean, you can go off the end both ways. I think as long as you're sticking to a sheet, you should be good. I don't know.
That's been my rule of thumb. Is about 3/4 of a sheet is generally pretty good. I don't know. What do you think, Evan?
My backstory. I think I have it typed right now. It's what, half a page? It's about that. Half page, 2/3 page typed. If you write it out on the back of your story sheet, it's gonna be more than that, obviously.
Yeah.
Unless you have really tiny writing.
One of the other issues you'll find is it's a good tool to help the DM, but if you make it absurdly long, your DM's probably not going to read it. Unless your DM's a lore whore, in which case, wow, you're lucky.
Or they'll read it, but it'll be so complex that they can't work it into their play.
Certain people that we play with do this a lot. I'm just saying. Certain shorter people, not to name anyone.
I mean, I've yet to encounter this problem, so.
The other thing is, don't overinvest in your character. Especially a low-level character.
In
my opinion.
Yes and no.
In my opinion, writing a 30-page backstory for a level 1 character is a very bad idea to get that invested into the character. Because if that character dies, it's going to be a very hard fall. And which means you're going to have to create a new character. And assuming you're consistent, you'll create another backstory that's that long. And if you get that invested, it generally breaks the game pretty hard. I'm just saying, because then you have to go back and you're out of the game for at least another 4 hours, right? To get that thing set up and running.
funny story. There was at one point in one of the groups I was in once where a guy managed to create three characters in a single session, or he managed to play three different characters. He only ended up creating two of them, but he started off almost at the beginning of the adventure. He died to something. I don't remember what. And then the party's out in the middle of the wilderness, so he creates a second character and creates a thief. And he decides that with his introduction to the party, because the DM decided, okay, well, here's your new character. After you created it, you come upon this party camping at the bank of a river. What are you going to do? Well, I'll go steal all their stuff, which was not the best idea because the party spotted him stealing their stuff and promptly killed him. So, in the space of 4 hours, he managed to create a character, and then in the next 15 minutes, he got it killed, and then created another one. Funny character creation stories.
Yep. Now, what do you think about the DM having a lot more control? Now, this is kind of a sub branch of this, but like a lot of DMs.
You mean control specifically over the backstory?
No, I'm not talking about backstory. I'm like over actual role playing itself. This is kind of a subtopic route, and it relates. So you'll see where I'm going with it. Like, because if the DM has so much control, like in our groups, from what I've seen, we haven't had this problem where the DM's like, "This is your lore, deal with it, done," right? Like, there's some DMs that do that. They're like, "This is your lore, you're this person, deal with it." Now, if you want, if you got a DM that's like that, if you create a backstory, it kind of forces them a little bit to follow that backstory a little bit further than they normally would have. And it allows you to roleplay a little bit more, and in my opinion, makes the game a bit more fun. Thoughts?
This is a very group-dependent thing, in my opinion. I think you and your DM and the rest of your group need to come to an agreement, more or less, about how much role-playing is going to occur. As a DM, I've had campaigns where I didn't involve myself, and then no role-playing occurred, or very little role-playing occurred, and it got kind of dull. And I've had a group where I more or less said, here's the starting stuff. You can come up with background if you wanted to. I don't think I've really seen too many instances of what you're talking about occurring, but I think that the problem better solved by talking to your DM out of the game as opposed to forcing them inside the game.
Within the game, the DM, let's face it, is all the powers. All of it. So it's usually a really bad idea to consult your DM within a gameplay. Either do it before or after the game, preferably after the game, or completely some other time. I'm just saying, as a pro tip. Don't, like, stand up and go, "You're the worst DM in the world," middle of the game. It's not a good plan. And yeah, I'm thinking that finishes that topic up. Any thoughts, Evan?
I think so.
Evan?
Do we listen?
Not too many thoughts. I think it's pretty thoroughly covered. We went about how far you should go and what should be included, what to avoid. That's pretty much all of it.
I would generally agree. So, shameless whoring now. You can find myself at wasdhatred.com and up on Twitter at wasdhate. Connell, where can they find you?
They can find me at twitter.com/icecommander.
And Evan, is there anywhere they can find you or any games you would like them to play with you?
Uh, not really. I don't spend quite as much time on the internet.
Anymore? Hashtag
Yeah, not anymore.
hashtag real life.
Unfortunately, I had to get a job.
We'll bring him back into the fold, team. Don't worry.
Yeah, we'll try. But yeah, quick reminder, what I say, 50 subs and 100 views on a video, and we will do something that is insanely embarrassing, and will probably kill one of us.
Says you. I read never mind. Keep going.
Sure, Connell. But yeah, we're all sure you have no experience reading erotica. And we might actually
None.
get Evan back for the erotica reading podcast, or we'll get a girl, because that would be kind of funny.
That would be funny.
I'm just saying, there might be a girl on this podcast, because I do know girls who game. Oh, controversy. All right. I'm done. Any final remarks? No?
Nope.
We will see you guys whatever the fuck Wednesday we feel like doing this, because it's our podcast. And you have no say other than making us read embarrassing novels. Yeah. That's a thing.
For reference, the next one will be January 16th.
Thank you, Connell.
Peace.
Peace out. Bye.